Hey everybody, Healthy Prepper here. Guess what? It's hurricane preparedness time. Yep, down here in the southeast, this is when the big barrage of newspaper articles and news stories on the TV come out in droves about what to do in case there's a hurricane. Now, tomorrow officially starts our hurricane season down here in the southeast. And of course, you know, might want to kind of take that tongue-in-cheek because look at Hurricane Sandy. It certainly didn't wait for hurricane season. Sometimes they just come when they come. So as a prepper, you want to be prepared no matter what and no matter when. Years ago, before I prepped, we had the standard thing of, all right, there's a hurricane coming. We got to run out and buy a case of water and grab some batteries and fill up the bathtub. Those were sort of the three things you did, along with boarding up your house. And if you couldn't quite get to boarding up your house, you were taping the windows. So that's what we did. And we got pretty lax about it over the years because we didn't get hit for a long time. And then all of a sudden we started to get hit and hit a lot. Got hit really bad with some serious storms. So then we decided all to take it seriously again. But it's kind of funny and kind of interesting to see how the recommendations over the years have changed, what's become in vogue for hurricane preparedness and what, I don't know, I think what is missing from some of the National Weather Service and FEMA recommendations. So anyway, I'm just going to go down a few of these, and you know, I'm curious to hear also what you guys do. Do you do anything at all, number one? Because you know it's hurricane season, or do you do anything if you hear a hurricane is coming, or do you just kind of do the wait and see, or do you do the I've got enough put aside, I'm a prepper, I don't need to do anything, I'm good to go. Okay, a couple things to think about. Emergency contact information, make sure you keep it handy. And one tip that I came across that I thought was really good is a lot of times if you, let's say you have some family in a local area and the electricity goes out, power is out, cell phones aren't working, it's a great idea to keep a contact who is far away from that location. Like if you've got a family member or a friend on an opposite side of the country perhaps, you could make them the designated phone call. So whenever you are able to make contact via email or phone call or whatever, you can let them know that you're okay. And that way, all your family can call that one person and let them know they're okay. And that person can let everybody know who's okay and who has not checked in yet. It's a good idea basically to have somebody out of the area. Okay, the next thing is, you know, the fill the bathtub thing. I'm still a big believer in that. Why not have a reservoir of water? You know, the first time I heard that, I thought, holy moly, drink out of the bathtub? How disgusting. But I'm not feeling so bad now that I've got all the Berkey filters and the Katadyn filter and, you know, it's tap water, let's face it, and you could boil it and strain it and filter it and if you really feel creepy about it. But it's better to have water than not, and you don't know if the water supply could become compromised due to flooding or what have you not. I did not see the fill the bathtub thing on the National Weather Service recommendation list anymore. I was actually kind of shocked. I still think it's a good one. Number 3, run out and buy water. Well, as a prepper, you might already have some water, which is a good thing. And where I live, when there's a hurricane coming, water disappears on the shelves. It's just like a vacuum came in and sucked it all up. So I strongly recommend getting a few extra cases of water, even if you have water on hand. It's better to have more than less, and you know, this way you can share with your neighbors or your family. It will disappear in the stores quickly, so buy it when you hear the first early warning signs, as any prepper would do. That's just basic prepper 101. Number 4, buy batteries. Okay. We all used to run out and buy tons of batteries before because we were absolutely sure the power was going to go out and we needed those vital AM radios that we were going to hear the weather report. You know, it's really kind of funny because in reality, a hurricane in general will come, hit landfall and generally move on through in a relatively short period of time, several hours, except, you know, if you're actually going through it, it seems like forever. But they do move on through. Some stall and some churn for a while on areas and dump tons of rain and lots of wind, and they can be slow. But most of them kind of follow the wind pattern and they move on through. So anyway, here we are buying all these batteries to listen to the weather report that we're actually experiencing. My point here is that we're actually experiencing the weather we're getting a report on. A lot of times we just want to know how long it's going to last, or if there's another front coming, or if there's any sightings of tornado touchdowns. So there is logic in getting the batteries for the, the transistor radio or the handheld radio or some version of a radio. But a prepper will probably take it one step further and have one of those wind-up radios that don't even need batteries. And you probably already have one of those on your shelf. They're not very expensive, and you can even get them at Walmart. You just wind and crank them or shake them. There's all different kinds. But it's definitely a good idea to have some of those on board. All right. Okay. National Weather Service also recommended to pack emergency kits ahead of time. Food in cans, clothes, etc. This is basic prepper stuff. It's really funny how when the National Weather Service recommends it to the public sounds like common logic, but if a prepper recommends it, you sound like a nutcase if you're recommending having a few extra cans of food around. Anyway, number 7, think about your pets. You may want to take your pets with you because you don't want to leave them in the storm, but you need to think about what are you going to do with them in case you go to a shelter and they don't take pets, or you go to Aunt Sally's and she's not okay with you bringing pets. The other thing is, if you're planning on bugging out with pets or not, trying to figure out where to bug out to is sometimes tricky because storms have a wiggle pattern, and sometimes they look like they're going to go north, but then they end up, going south at the last minute. So, you can think you got out way ahead of the storm and you're good to go, and wiggle, and it's coming right at you. So be prepared for changing your bug out location very quickly at the last minute, packing up and going again. That could happen. Okay. This was a funny one. FEMA. I had to laugh when I saw this because obviously when you're bugging in, if you decide to bug out, you're going to be leaving your home, and the risk of looting is very high. And you have to decide, are you going to stay home, defend your stuff, and risk the storm and all it brings, flooding, no electricity, all that, or are you going to take off for higher, drier ground? Now, FEMA recommends if you do decide to leave, aka bug out, leave a note telling others when you left and where you are going. Excuse me, does this not sound like an invitation to all looters to come in and break into your house and take your stuff? I just thought that was a hilarious recommendation. Okay, I'm gone. I left 3 days ago, and I'm at Aunt Sally's. I'm, 3 hours north of here, and I won't be back till the storm's done. Okay. So, anyway, that's another big consideration is the deciding of bugging in or bugging out. Where do you feel safer? Another good point that everybody did have on their list was keep your gas tanks full. And basically they were talking about your car gas tank. Obviously, if you need to bug out, you want to have a full gas tank because often during storms, gas stations cannot pump because a lot of their pumps are electrical and they'll shut down. But also, if you decide to bug in, you're going to want gas for your generator. So make sure that your, gas cans are full and you've got your stable in them and they're ready to go, especially if we're going into quote unquote the season. So that was it. Just a quick reminder, as tomorrow is the first day of our lovely hurricane season here. And as I look outside, I can see cloudy, billowy, rain-like clouds that love to come this time of year. So happy and healthy prepping, everybody, and stay safe, be hurricane prepared, and, never let a storm get you down. Take care, everyone.